What kind of scale event is realistic to have in New York? They're talking about that, but no one knows the answers.
Not long ago, it appeared the 2020 season might never return, but it has. Tennis is back.
To be able to practice on Arthur Ashe and to walk around the courts and seeing everything happen up close is a very nice feeling.
And see the messages and see the people supporting still from their homes, so it's still a special win.
And there you see her friend Rebel Wilson in the family friend cam. I like that.
That's actually pretty cool.
Well, in case you haven't heard, it is the time for mothers to shine, and 3 of the last 4 vying for those 2 semifinal positions are mothers.
If you're telling me I'm a champion, well, I guess I'm a champion.
You are.
As a 2-time Grand Slam champion, she's clearly socially active.
I have 7. It's quite sad that 7 isn't enough. Hopefully I'll get to the finals and you can see all of them.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other. And for that we have each other, and we'll rise up. I like the waves, we'll rise up. In spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the USTA Foundation's first ever virtual essay grant event. I am Dan Faber, the USTA Foundation's Executive Director, and I'm joined by the Foundation Board President, Thomas Chen. The video we just watched is from this year's US Open. What a year it has been. I am so relieved the US Open was able to happen and give us that excitement and entertainment. I hope you were able to catch some of the tennis, especially 2 products of NJTL programs, Frances Tiafoe and Robin Montgomery. This year, it was about them. In the future, it may be one of this year's essay grant recipients being recognized today. To the 2020 National Junior Tennis and Learning Essay Grant recipients, their families, friends, coaches, foundation supporters, and all logged onto the event this afternoon. We appreciate you joining us. Tom?
Hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure to join all of you today to recognize the winners of this highly competitive essay grant. Winners, you should be very proud of yourself as you were selected from over 1,000 applicants. On behalf of the USTA Foundation Board of Directors, congratulations on this major accomplishment, and keep up the hard work on and off the court. This essay grant and the Foundation's other programs and services support the development of young people just like you all over the country. As the official charitable entity of the United States Tennis Association, the USTA Foundation believes that combining tennis and education can be life-changing. A big thank you to Deloitte for not only supporting our mission, but believing in our mission. Deloitte's continued support of the USTA Foundation through the essay grant continues to change lives. Dan?
This afternoon will be fun. Kick back and relax. I'm now going to turn the program over to our Foundation's Program and Service Director, Rob Holland, who will keep the program moving throughout the next hour. Enjoy, everyone. Thanks again for joining us, and congratulations to the grant recipients. Rob?
Thanks, Dan, and hello, everyone. My name is Rob Holland, and I'm the Director of Programs and Services at the USTA Foundation. In this role, I'm proud to deliver the Foundation's mission with a truly amazing team. This year is very different for all of us, especially with the pandemic. We, like all of you, have had to be nimble and pivot to meet the changes and unique challenges during these times. The foundation, along with Deloitte, wanted to ensure that NJTL programs and participants continue to receive opportunities and support throughout 2020. As such, the USTA Foundation NJTL Essay Grant, presented by Deloitte, launched in June. NJTL participants were asked to write essays answering a thought-provoking question. Everyone measures success differently. How do you strive for success in terms of your character development, education, or tennis? 10 applicants were selected, 2 in each age group, and they will be recognized with us here today. The award recipients' NJTL chapters will also receive $5,000 that will be utilized to support the essay authors' on and off-court development. This year's recipients are truly an amazing group of young people. They are Hope Gempel from Oklahoma City and First Serve OKC, Malachi Roten from Compton, California and the First Break Academy, Sophie Ma from Minneapolis and the Inner City Tennis Foundation, Tyler DeLone from Maryland and the Metropolitan Tennis and Education Group, Julian Williams from Dallas and the Dallas Tennis and Education Academy, Mason Edmond from Washington, D.C. and Washington Tennis and Education Foundation, Sydney Brown from Philadelphia and Legacy Youth Tennis and Education Foundation, Torrey Bailey Jr. from Los Angeles and the Pete Brown Jr. Tennis Program, Niley Austin from Gainesville, Florida and the Aces in Motion Program, and finally, Joshua Mann from Albany, New York, and a graduate of 15 Love. We will hear from each of these amazing young people shortly. But first, right now, we will hear from former world number 1 and 18-time Grand Slam champion, Chrissy Everett. The USTA Foundation is so proud to have her as our chairperson.
Thanks, Rob. Congratulations. Each of you clearly put so much time and effort into it, and it shows. Even with the pandemic, it was amazing. We received 1,000 submissions, and you 10 wrote amazing essays. We again thank Deloitte and its leaders like Terry and Janet, who have supported this program and given these students an incredible experience in their involvement. I am personally proud of each and every one of you, as I'm sure your family is. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Terry Cooper, Deloitte's Chief Inclusion Officer. Terry, thank you so much, and your team for your continued support of the USTA Foundation.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Terry Cooper, Deloitte's Chief Inclusion Officer. And at Deloitte, one of our priorities is to make an impact that matters. We do this for our clients, on our teams, but also in our communities by supporting relationships like the one we have with the United States Tennis Association Foundation. And we are thrilled that Deloitte has the opportunity to be the presenting sponsor of the NJTL Essay Grant. We are proud to help students advance their education through this once-a-year event, as well as inspire future leaders both on and off the court. And we are thrilled to honor each and every one of you today. I'm personally passionate about providing educational support for students from a variety of backgrounds. And helping grow the next generation of leaders is a personal passion of mine. Particularly since as a child, I wasn't surrounded by adults who had advanced education. In fact, neither of my parents went past high school, but they always taught me to believe in myself. And it's important that you always believe in yourselves. That's what our relationship with the NJTL Essay Grant is all about. It's about providing that support and access to education to all students. Now, one of my focuses for advancing Deloitte's inclusive culture is to invest in our next generation of leaders that can bring a range of experiences and perspectives to the table. And that's why sponsorships like the NJTL Essay Grant are so important. to both foster inclusion as well as to inspire you all to grow and reach your full potential.
Thank you, Chrissy, and thank you, Terry. Chrissy has been an outstanding addition to the foundation since becoming chairperson in 2019. And as the first ever presenting sponsor of the USTA Foundation NJTL Essay Grant, Deloitte's support has allowed us to help our program participants to fulfill their potential. Now it's time to hear from this year's recipients in their own words. Some will share with us how tennis has impacted their life. Others will share how they're in turn inspiring others. Let's take a look.
Winning the essay grant is definitely a blessing to me. I'm so excited. It will allow me to continue my tennis program and take away some of the financial burden from my parents so that they can continue to support my younger siblings' tennis program. First Grade Academy is like family to me. They have been very supportive, not only with my athletic development, but also with my education. Because of First Grade Academy, I am able to advance my tennis skills while getting after-school tutoring to maintain my grades. It's a win-win. I would like to express my gratitude and give a special thank you to NJTL and First Grade Academy for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Tennis has already given me a lot of learning experiences and opportunities that I am so grateful for. I appreciate how lucky I am to have such a great support on my tennis journey. I am super happy that the award will help First Serve OKC support upper junior players with programs like after-school drills, summer camp, and year-round academy. The coaches are amazing and really care about each player. In my essay, I talk about doing the best I can through tennis, school, and community, which are the same values that First Serve OKC teach in their program. Really happy that my essay can help make a difference in my community and share the love of tennis.
My name is Tyler DeWan. It means a lot to me to win the essay grant. This will have a great impact on my tennis game and will help me improve faster. I have been with Team DMV almost all of my life. They are like my family.
Winning this grant means a lot to me. It builds up my self-confidence and helps me take more tennis classes at Inner City Tennis. Inner City Tennis has been a big part of my life. I've been going there for Super Saturdays since I was 4, even before kindergarten. At first, I enjoyed playing at the different sports stations like fishing, basketball, and baseball. Later, the coaches taught us more tennis skills, and it was really fun. The coaches are great. The tennis classes I took this summer made it seem more like a normal summer during the pandemic. And I'm really looking forward to a new year of tennis in school. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hello, my name is Mason Edmond. I'm humbled and honored to have been selected to represent WTF in the NJTL Essay Competition. I started my tennis career on court number 1 at WTF's East Campus 7 years ago during its inaugural year. I quickly developed a passion for and love of the game. As I learned more about the game, I learned more about what it took to be successful on and off the court. While many of my friends had video games, I had WTF, and the skills that it taught me has given me what it takes to be successful in whatever goals I pursue for myself in the years to come.
Hi, I'm Julian Williams, and winning the essay grant is meaningful to me because I am now able to take more tennis lessons and purchase more tennis equipment to improve my game. Also, I can save for college in the future. My NJTL chapter has impacted my life because they introduced me to tennis by providing good coaches and mentors in a positive tennis environment. Also, they've provided me with many opportunities to volunteer in my community.
I am Tori Bailey, a 16-year African-American male. Winning the grant will support and fund advanced tennis lessons. The advanced tennis lessons are absent from my community. I have tennis talent and I am willing to do the hard work. The NJTL program provided me with an opportunity to learn safely about participating in a sport that can last until one's senior year. I have watched tennis players on all levels, young and old, enjoy playing the game. I feel the same enjoyment when on the court playing tennis. The game of tennis builds character and has taught me to be committed to self-improvement.
Hi, I'm Sydney Brown. I'm over the moon about winning the NJTL Essay Grant. It means so much to me because tennis has changed my life for the better. In my essay, I use my writing abilities to show how grateful I am for how far I've come. Tennis has made such a big impact in my life, especially the Jardel Community Tennis Camp. At the camp, I met one of my close friends and had the opportunity to have a summer job for the past 2 years. Tennis has allowed me to stay active and have fun by teaching kids tennis skills. Being the only female instructor at my site, I feel blessed to inspire younger girls to continue striving for success in any discipline they choose to follow.
Hi, my name is Joshua Mann, and gaining this scholarship grant has basically meant to me that some other kids will be able to receive the same help through 15 Love that I have. 15 Love has really set me up to be successful in college, on the court. It's helped me learn how to overcome obstacles. It's helped me learn different time management skills, making connections with other people, being able to properly communicate. And it really just means a lot that somebody else will get the same opportunities that I have, and this money will definitely help them. My NJTL chapter has just taught me so much about not only tennis, but how to handle myself on and off the court, how to persevere through anything. And it's really just helped me learn that I can be successful through any obstacle as long as I persevere.
Hi, my name is Natalie Austin, and I am truly grateful to be one of the recipients of the 2020 NJTL Essay Grant. This is not only a celebration for me, but for my NJTL chapter, Aces in Motion. I am the first participant in the history of our chapter to have won at a national level. Tennis has allowed me to step out of my comfort zone, a step that has transformed from off the courts. My NJTL chapter is affectionately known as the AIM family. The AIM family is made up of people who believe in you, reminds you that you are important, and motivate you to always do your best.
Wow. Even though we're not in the same room and they can't hear us, please join me in giving this year's recipients a round of applause. For everyone viewing, you heard organization names like First Break Academy, Aces in Motion, Inner City Tennis Foundation, and others. These 10 future leaders and their organizations are part of a much larger network. This network, the USTA Foundation's National Junior Tennis and Learning Network, has over 250 chapters, 2,700 coaches, and reaches over 160,000 participants nationwide. It takes a team to execute the foundation mission and support this network. Next, we'll hear from 3 people who are part of that team and we count on as part of the foundation family: Barbara Wynn, James Blake, and Damon John. Barbara is an NJTL pioneer. She co-founded the NJTL chapter in Indianapolis and has dedicated her life to helping youth through tennis and education for over 50 years. James Blake is a former world number 4, an NJTL program graduate, and the foundation's immediate past chairperson. Damon John is not only a Shark Tank investor and successful entrepreneur, he is also a member of the foundation's Celebrity and Player Council. Let's take a listen.
Congratulations. I can't begin to tell you how I enjoyed reading all of your essays. When they first arrived in Indianapolis, where I live, there were about 170 essays, and they were all winners from all over the country, from the different sections and districts. So you are very, very special, because all 10 of you that are watching this Zoom today will realize that you are special because you got the question answered. You knew what was important to say and write, and I congratulate you for your efforts. And I just want you to know that I still have all of your winning essays, and if somebody really wants it back, if you don't put it in format, I'm happy to send them back to you because you made monumental choices and uses of words. You followed the rules of keeping your essay to 350 words. And basically, in an essay, it's so important to plain answer the question. And the question was wonderful. When we started, Arthur Ashe was one of the three founders. And he was a very smart tennis player. He won 3 Grand Slams, Australia, Wimbledon, and the US Open. He won that in 1968. So he was a great champion. But in addition to that, like you, he was a very bright person. He was so smart that he was graduated #1 in his high school class and went on to graduate from UCLA. So we had a model, and we wanted to continue his legacy forever among children who play in National Junior Tennis League. And because he wrote lots of books, he wrote series of books, he wrote individual books, and he wrote for magazines. So I believe the USTA Foundation and their partners, Deloitte, came up with a wonderful prize. And that is that each of you has the opportunity to become as special as you want to be by the fact that you're getting a cash donation to each of your chapters to spend on making you an even better person, whether you just decide to go to camp or you decide to take private tennis lessons, maybe even go to a level 3 or 4 tournament. All these opportunities that maybe have escaped you, now you can try to do. And I was thinking that some of you might even think, I might be a better tennis player if I take guitar lessons. Whatever it would be that would make you a more complete person is what you should do, and talk to your advisor at your chapter about how this wonderful scholarship should be invested in your future, make you a better person, improve your tennis, and take you to the next level. And so congratulations to each and every one of you for being a real champion.
This year's question of everyone measures success differently. How do you strive for success in terms of your character development, education, or tennis? Is something that is extremely important for you guys to talk about. And I think so much of it does correlate between your success in the classroom, your success on the tennis court. So much of it has to do with the hard work you guys put in.
What's up? It's David John here, the People Shark, and I want to say congratulations to all of you. Now, I know you had to answer the very tough question about success, and everyone measures success differently. How do you strive for success and will continue striving for success? And while it's amazing to hear that you answer the question, I want you to know that I'm constantly asking myself the same exact thing. And I'm redefining every other day or every year what success truly means to me. For example, when I was younger, I was thinking about success as how much money will I make? And now that I'm a little bit older, I value being a person that's going to make a true impact and change in the world. Or I value spending more time with my family, friends, and my health. So I'm telling you to say this. If you want to find long-term success for yourself, keep asking yourself this very same question. Things will change over the course of your life, but it will be your North Star, and it will lead you to long-term success. All the best.
Thank you, Barbara, James, and Damon. Your support for our mission is truly changing lives. Now we're in for a treat, and we'll hear from today's keynote speaker, Thaddeus Bullard. In addition to his wrestling fame as WWE's Titus O'Neil, Thad is a former NFL player who has helped raise millions of dollars for philanthropic initiatives, including his very own Florida NJTL chapter located in Hillsborough County School District, Sly Middle School. We are honored that he is with us today. Thad, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. And first and foremost, thank you all at the USTA Foundation for giving me the opportunity to come to you today and speak to all of the recipients in regards to success. Now, success for me has had varying definitions throughout my life. I started off very rough. in a very rough situation. My mother was sexually assaulted at the age of 11, had me at the age of 12 against the wishes of many. And I kind of got in and out of trouble a lot. I used to fight a lot and got sent to a place called the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch up in Live Oak, Florida, where I had an opportunity to change as an individual. And if it wasn't for my exposure there, and more importantly, a conversation, I was getting ready to get kicked off of the Boys Ranch after just signing a contract that I would not fight again. 30 minutes later, I got into a fight, and they had a meeting, and the meeting had convened, and the decision was made that I would be sent back home to Boynton Beach, Florida. And Mr. Patrick Minogue called me into the office, and he said, you know, why do you think it is that you get into trouble all the time? And I said, I don't know, man. I'm just a bad kid. I had my head down, and he said, lift your head up. He said, there's no such thing as a bad kid. And I said, how can you say that? You know, I've been told I'll be dead or in jail by the time I'm 16. I'm poor. You know, I'm getting ready to get sent back home to a single mother with 3 younger brothers that, you know, we have all types of issues at home. And he said, you know, I'm not gonna send you home, and I know I'm gonna make a lot of people mad by switching the decision to send you home. And I'm not going to give you the definition as to why I say there's no such thing as a bad kid, because I truly believe in my heart that you're going to turn things around and you're going to figure out this for yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to believe it. He said, I love you and I believe in you. Now, as you all know, a lot of people will tell you that they love you and then turn around and abuse you, curse you, leave you, etc., which was what happened with me. But nobody had ever told me up to that point that they believed that I can do anything. It was the complete opposite. I would never graduate from high school. I was too dumb to go to college, too uncoordinated to play sports. And I believed that for a majority of my young adult life. And then once I started applying myself and started accepting criticism and coaching and teaching from people from all throughout the Boys Ranch and at the school, I slowly but surely started to attain what was at that time in my definition of success. You know, I went from being an underperforming student in the classroom to being an honor roll student. And not just that, I ended up being a top flight athlete. I was the #1 recruit in the country, which is astonishing considering the fact that I was told that I would never, play at a high level in sports. And I was the #1 recruit in high school football, and I chose to go to the University of Florida, go Gators, with a big win today versus Ole Miss. And it was there, that I grew more and more into being confident about what success truly meant, because I had gone from a kid that was literally not supposed to be here to being a young man that had so much promise and so much to live for and to achieve. And each level in my life, I've come to find that, to me, I like to live a life of excellence. I feel like anybody can be successful at something, if they apply themselves. But success to me is kind of like another block on the road to excellence. And if you strive to live a life of excellence, then you're going to have some success along the way. You're also going to have some downfalls along the way, which I got knocked down a lot up to this point. And, even getting into the WWE superstar Titus O'Neil, there was a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns. And, people say, well, how do you label your career? How can you term it successful? I can term it successful because I never in my wildest dreams could have thought that I would be, wrestling and performing for WWE around the globe, traveling all over the world, seeing all kinds of cool places, especially when I grew up poor. And I only wanted to go to 2 places growing up and as a kid. That was Washington, D.C., because that's where all the good kids went, the quote unquote good kids went for the patrol trips. And then I wanted to go to Atlanta because I thought that that's where all the rich, Black people lived at. And I wanted to see what they lived like. And so being able to have exposure to so many different cultures, so many things around the world, you know, I don't deem that as successful. I deem that as having a life of excellence, living a life of excellence. And to every young individual out there, there are going to be so many things that come up in your life. There are going to be so many people that tell you what you can't do. And there are going to be a lot of people that also tell you what you can do. And luckily for you, you're all members of NJTL in your respective cities, and you're around loving coaches, which fulfills the mission of what the USTA Foundation is all about. It's about putting kids, especially those in underserved communities, in a better position through the game of tennis, and utilizing the game of tennis to teach life lessons to hopefully get the next tennis star. But if we don't get the next tennis star, we'll get the next lawyer, or we get the next doctor, or we get the next college professor. I mean, there are so many things out there in the world for all of us to be able to strive for, achieve. You know, as Rob said, you know, I had goals of having a lengthy, you know, NFL career. And I tore my ACL early on with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and was going to decide that I wasn't going to play football. I was going to go coach. And then got the opportunity to play arena football, so I played that for 6 years. And then I just kind of stumbled into WWE. Literally, one of my best friends is Dave Bautista. He had been mentioning to me, he plays Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a movie star now, so he just had his last match at WrestleMania last year. But he had convinced me to at least give wrestling a try over 10 years ago. And through a chance meeting, I ended up going in, speaking with the powers that be. And 2 weeks after going in the back door at FCW, I signed to become a WWE superstar with essentially no training, no wrestling experience, no nothing. And now here it is, almost 12 years later, you know, still being with WWE when I've seen a lot of people come and go out of the doors. And not only being able to perform for WWE, but also being able, as Rob mentioned as well, to help use my platform to raise millions of dollars for several different organizations that are near and dear to my heart for various reasons, including the USTA Foundation. And so I never played tennis growing up. I kind of messed around with it a little bit, but I did grow a love for it as I got older and when I was in college, because Andy Brandy, who was one of the coaches at the university, the head coach tennis coach at the University of Florida, who also worked with the USTA for several years, kind of, you know, used to have me come out and hit some balls around with a few of the players. And I just gained a huge amount of respect for the game of tennis, realizing that I can't just walk off the street and play it. It is something that takes hours and hours and hours of practice. There are some people that are very, very gifted in regards to being able to pick it up and kind of skyrocket through. But it's just like life for me. The game of tennis is, you know, you're going to have some bad bounces. You're going to have some bad serves. But that's life in general. You're going to have some bad days. You're going to have some days that you know, could have performed better on a test, but for whatever reason, the cards didn't line up that day. There are going to be some days that you go and compete on the court and it just isn't your day. It isn't the end of the world. You know, as my life has illustrated to many, you know, you can come from the most troubled situations. You can come from any type of background, any type of race or religion. When it comes to sports, that's the great thing about sports. It brings people from all walks of life together, and you share a locker room, and you share the court, and you share bus rides and plane rides with experiences with people from all different walks of life. And especially with what's going on in the world today, you know, when we talk about success, you know, even you as young people have an opportunity to help change things for the better in this world, which I think that by utilizing your platform, the same way you put the energy and the time to make sure that your essay was right at 350 words, that it got the message across, that it highlighted the points and what success meant to you, you can do that same exact formula in going out and changing the world, whether it be to volunteer or to to engage or to help your chapter grow. You all have an opportunity to be great at so much, and I just want to thank you again for all of your efforts in participating in this essay contest, but more importantly, your efforts in making this world a better place. Keep striving to be great, keep striving to be successful, but most importantly, strive to live a life of excellence. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for giving me this time, and I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you guys in the very near future.
Wow, thanks, Thad. I know you receive a lot of invitations to support equally worthwhile causes. So thank you for spending the afternoon with us. You are an extraordinary person, father, and one of the best people I know. Your story of overcoming adversity and your relentless efforts to help your community are truly inspiring. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Now we'll hear from the students again. We asked them to share their favorite part of the essay they wrote. Let's listen to them explain how being involved with their USTA Foundation chapter has helped them embrace core values like self-love, equity, and respect.
Hello, my name is Joshua Mann, and the sentence that means the most to me is I began to measure my success, not by comparing myself to others, but by comparing myself to my past self. As I wrote in my essay, it's often hard to compare yourself to yourself. It's always other people. There's always more successful people that you want to feel compelled to compare yourself towards. But as a runner and a high school tennis player, I've been doing this for 4 years, and I overcame a lot of mental obstacles as well as physical obstacles by being able to focus on my personal growth and not other people around me. When I began to focus on my personal growth, all the other obstacles around me, they were so much easier to smash through. I was able to overcome many obstacles when I began to focus on my personal success and my personal growth. And I also used this exact mindset to help me get through school. There was always going to be someone that's smarter than me. But as long as I am continuing to improve and I try to be the best version of myself, I'll always know that I'll be successful as long as I continue to strive for greatness in my own personal life.
The sentence that has the most meaning to me is, seeing kids and graduating at the top of their class is something huge, and showing people that this program is helping children even when they are struggling and want to give up. My and family created a space for me to know that I am capable of accomplishing goals that I set for myself. This program speaks affirmations over me and has planted a seed within me, letting me know that I have a support system behind me no matter what society says.
NJTL has been a steady stream of encouragement for me through the P. Brown Junior Tennis Program. NJTL has provided me with an opportunity to develop and mature as a whole person. I recognize the need to be fair and an honest tennis player. I understand the open pathway that awaits me with seeking higher education for a quality life. I know tennis is a demanding and difficult game. The game continues to teach me to stay focused and fight for every point. The same development of mental strength for tennis has been used in school. Tennis teaches life and decision-making skills. I know these life skills are helping me as a young person in this COVID-19 environment. I am adapting every day like in the game of tennis.
Although there is no set goal to self-love, an ongoing journey of self-reflection and acceptance, I know that by taking the time to help myself and others, I am growing into the person I want to be. This part of my essay means the most to me because I believe that if I take care of myself, then I can help others to my full capacity. Self-love is something that is overlooked far too often. I knew it was time for me to take care of my mental health and evaluate how I view myself. Once I was able to see myself in a more positive light, I wanted to help others do the same. But it's also important to acknowledge that I have to continue self-love practices because it is an ongoing journey.
Hello, my name is Mason Edmond. I'm humbled and honored to have been selected to represent WTF in the NJTL Essay Competition. I started my tennis career on court number 1 at WTEF's East Campus 7 years ago during its inaugural year. I quickly developed a passion for and love of the game. As I learned more about the game, I learned more about what it took to be successful on and off the court. While many of my friends had video games, I had WTEF, and the skills that it taught me has given me what it takes to be successful in whatever goals I pursue for myself in the years to come. I truly believe that the effort I put into something will reflect on how well I perform. This quote means a lot to me because it shows my success over the summer, where I was able to play 3 hours every day. My second serve went from being efficient to effective. My footwork went from being mediocre to active. The work was intense, but it got my game a lot stronger and will pay off in the future.
Hi, I'm Julian Williams, and my favorite sentence from my essay was a quote by Kobe Bryant, a basketball all-star, who once said, "Great things come from hard work, perseverance, no excuses." These character traits helped contribute to Kobe Bryant's major success. This is meaningful to me because I believe that if I work hard and strive for success, I can reach my goals, which is to be a professional tennis player, attend law school, and become a civil rights attorney.
Success is not about winning or losing or being perfect. It's about trying your hardest and never giving up. Who cares if you lose? As long as you try your hardest and you learn from your loss. The key is to always give 100% effort so that you can become the best you can be.
The sentence that means most to me in my essay is, by doing so means trying my best in school, tennis, and life. I hope to achieve success in the future and to make changes for the better in the world. I like this sentence because it shows I still have to work hard to be successful, and things might not be so easy. I also like this sentence because I know I can do my part to make this world a better place by helping others. Together, we can make a better world. Thank you.
The sentence in my essay that means the most to me is the one that says, "I strive to be a good example for other African American boys by treating others fairly and being kind no matter what their race, gender, or religion is." I chose this sentence because equity, positivity, and love means a lot to me. If we as a nation would show more love for one another and embrace our differences, it will make the world a much better place. For love drives out hate, and it is the greatest gift that we can give to each other. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "It is love that will save our world and our civilization." It is my hope that through this message, it will encourage others to be the change and make a difference.
As for tennis, I strive for success by having fun, enjoying the game, and sharing the love of tennis. The reason this is my favorite sentence is because being on court is my happy place. There is no other place I'd rather be. I can be doing drills, match play, or tournaments. I am just happy to be there, playing, having fun, making friends, and improving my game. Hopefully my joy will inspire others to feel the same happiness through a fun game. They say tennis is a game for life. I can see why. I totally love it. It's the best.
Wow, thank you for those inspiring words and reflections. They are impressive and thoughtful, and we no doubt have a group of emerging future leaders here with us today. It's my pleasure to now introduce Deloitte consultant Courtney Mainwaring, who is going to take us through a wellness activity that we hope you will implement into your daily routines. Courtney?
Thanks, Rob. And hello, everyone. Congratulations. It is both an honor and a privilege to be with you all today. I was given the opportunity to read your essays, and your words and your stories truly inspired me. I'm grateful that you're all leaders and mentors in your own communities. As Rob mentioned, my name is Courtney Mainwaring, and I'm a consultant at Deloitte. But before I began working at Deloitte 2 years ago, I was still in college and I was studying mindfulness and meditation and how those practices are used in the corporate world and in primary education. So it was fortunate when I started at Deloitte and found that the company focuses and emphasizes the importance of employees' mental and physical well-being. And one of the courses that Deloitte offers is an introduction to mindfulness and meditation, which is what I get to teach to employees nationwide. And this is what we're going to do a little introduction and a little overview of today to help us to recharge. So I'm curious, does this image look familiar to you? This low battery symbol lets us know that our devices need charging. And for many of us, we're on top of our game, making sure our devices never run out of power, bringing our chargers everywhere with us. But sometimes this is something we often overlook for ourselves. We have to recharge ourselves too. So have you ever been out on the court and you're feeling exhausted and drained? Well, this is like our batteries being low. We need to get a good night's sleep, we need to eat, hydrate to feel energized and strong on the court and in life. So the same concept of refueling and resting applies not only to our devices and our bodies, but to our mind too. And as we think about supporting our minds, we like to talk about what mindfulness and meditation are. These concepts are taught by professional coaches like George Mumford to professional athletes like Michael Jordan. We can think about mindfulness as a superpower. So it's the ability to know what's going on around us and within us at any given moment without judging, criticizing, or getting carried away by it. Mindfulness is similar to being in the zone. So have you ever felt like you were so focused when you were playing? You weren't even thinking about your next move, but you could read where your opponent's moves were going, where the ball was going to go, and you could play with fluidity and grace. You weren't thinking, you were just doing, it felt. This is similar to mindfulness. You're in the zone and you're focused. And to become more mindful, to get in the zone, it's important to practice. This is similar to the sport of tennis, similar to life. Practice is important. And the practice for mindfulness is meditation. It's where we practice consciously focusing our attention on one single thing. This could be the breath. This could be an object or a thought. So mindfulness is the superpower, and meditation is the way to get it. Now, in a minute, we're going to settle our attention by following this circle a couple of times. Then we'll do a check-in where we check in with our body, our mind, and our focus. So let's talk about the basics of meditation by going over this cycle. This is the basics of settling our attention. So first, at the top, we focus on the breath. We pay attention to the breath coming in and the breath going out. You can feel the sensation of it in your nose or maybe your chest, but that's what our focus is, just the in and the out of the breath. And we pick the breath because it's portable, we can bring it anywhere, and it's well researched. But inevitably, we get distracted. This is so easy because we're human. Have you ever been in class and your teacher says something that reminds you of lunch, and then that conversation you had with your friend, and then that game you're playing, and then your teacher calls you out, and you realize you've become distracted. You don't know what she asked you. This is natural. Distraction happens, we're human, and if you're with a caring adult right now, you can look to them, and I'm sure they can tell you that they've been distracted before too. But the key part of this is to notice that you became distracted, but notice with kindness and curiosity. It's totally fine, we're human. We notice the distraction, and ideally without our teacher calling us out, And then we refocus our attention on the breath. And this is the cycle. Just paying attention to the breath, getting distracted, and coming back to the breath. So now we're going to give it a try. I'll guide you through this short meditation, and in it we'll begin by settling our attention in the way I just described, so paying attention to the breath. And then we'll go through the short check-in I mentioned, checking in with our body, our mind, and our focus. This check-in can be used anywhere and at any time. So if you want to begin by finding a comfortable seat. Now you don't need to sit cross-legged. You can just sit in a chair with your feet firmly planted on the floor. Just getting comfortable here, placing your hands gently in your lap, maybe rolling your shoulders up, back, and down, feeling the crown of your head reach toward the ceiling, and getting comfortable here. You can gently close your eyes, or you can gaze softly at the floor in front of you. Just starting to breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, feeling the sensation of your belly, chest, and ribs expanding. With each exhale, feel the release of the breath completely. You can imagine a balloon here as you inhale, feeling it expand. And as you exhale, feeling the air slowly release out of the balloon. Inhaling and exhaling. Now we'll move to our body, our mind, and our focus check-in. Bringing our attention to our body. You can place a hand gently on your belly, maybe on your chest, and start to feel the sensations in your body. Just doing a quick scan. Do you feel a sense of comfort? Maybe soreness? Any tingling? Just noticing what you feel in your body right now. Then moving our attention to our mind. What thoughts are here? Maybe you're curious, maybe you're bored, excited. Paying attention to what is happening in your mind. Remembering to breathe in and breathe out. Finally, bring our attention to our focus. And we can ask ourselves here, what is important for me right now? That may be a motivation word like strength or power or precision. Or it may be a skill to focus on like make contact or fluid swing or read slowly. Pick your focus word and just say it to yourself silently in your head. For me, I'll say listen with compassion. And taking one more deep breath in and deep breath out. You can wiggle your fingers and toes, open your eyes, and come back into our virtual space. So whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe on the court, on the field, before a test, or throughout your day, just remember, body, mind, focus. Thank you all. Wishing you well.
Thank you, Courtney. I'm sure everyone viewing would agree we all feel a little bit more cool, calm, and collected right now. Deloitte has been such a wonderful partner to the USTA Foundation and supporter of the 2020 Essay Grant Initiative. It's truly a pleasure to introduce Deloitte's New York Managing Partner, Roger G. Uryer Jr. Roger?
Thanks, Rob. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to the National Essay Grant Award recipients. As Rob indicated, my name is Roger Uryer, and I'm Deloitte's New York Managing Partner. And as my colleague, Dr. Terry Cooper indicated, we, Deloitte, are proud once again to sponsor this amazing program and to support the mission of the USTA Foundation and its NJTL network. Recipients, your stories of striving for success at home, in school, in your communities, and on the tennis court is truly inspiring and something we can all learn from, even as adults. And like Thad said, strive to live a life of excellence. There'll be lots of twists and turns, but stay with it, persevere. You're already on a great path, and we are looking forward to seeing all of the great things that you'll accomplish in your life and communities at large. I'd also like to thank the USTA Foundation for all that it does, and to say unequivocally that we at Deloitte look forward to our continued partnership. Thank you. Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, time to wrap up our program. Thank you all for attending, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to the program participants, and thank you again to Deloitte for helping the USTA Foundation to provide opportunities for our students to express their individual experiences. We look forward to this continued engagement that supports the Foundation's mission to bring tennis and education together to change the lives of our NJTL participants. Please join me and let's give a final round of applause for Hope, Joshua, Sophie, Julian, Sydney, Tori, Mason, Niley, Malachi, and Tyler. On behalf of the USTA Foundation, a final congratulations to these incredible 2020 Essay Grant recipients. We'll close with a final video. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
A doctor, a coder, a teacher, a scientist, a leader. What will they become when they grow up? Support our grassroots tennis and education program called NJTL and start these kids on their journey today.